I was trying to talk. I was trying to talk. What the fuck is that? I think I had two different lines I wanted to say first, and they just fucking crashed into each other. And there you have it. I was trying to talk to one of my friends about doing his own channel, because he's got a lot of good insights and stuff. And if anyone has ideas in this sort of field or whatever of study, please just pick up the phone and just film it and just upload it. It only takes, it's all easy to do. And just get it out there. Like I was saying the other day, is that you'll find this stuff. People will find you. It's not about algorithms or having to be like a YouTube person. You don't, like, nothing like that. Just fucking do it. Don't worry about making like good stuff. You have to do that a lot. You have to, like anything else, it just takes a while to do it. I mean, I'm still not good at it, but I'm getting the ideas out. And people that watch this kind of stuff, they don't give a shit about production value. In fact, if anything, like if you had a theme song or something, I'd probably nope the fuck out, because it would be cheesy. You don't do stuff like that when you're trying to get like this kind of stuff across or to each other, because the people that are going to watch it they're not there for that stuff. It doesn't have to be a good video. You just have to get your message across. You're not competing in some kind of other arena. You're just trying to put these messages out there, and people will gravitate towards them. They'll run into them. They'll find them somehow, because I have, a lot of people I watch, and I find more all the time. And I can get just as good information from a guy's first video, or an idea. It doesn't have to be information, but just, it'll trigger something in me to think about. I can get something like that from someone's first video the same way I could get something great from Quantum of Conscience. It's the same thing. It's ideas here. So if you get something that you think you can add to this, throw it out there, and people will find it. It doesn't have to be like a good video. I mean, do you know what I mean? Do you hear him? Does this make sense at all? Just throw it out there. And if you like doing it, just keep doing it. And eventually, as you go along, it'll get better. For you. Because it should be getting better for you. Like if you work at something, any kind of creative thing, and this is a creative thing, it gets better. And you get more satisfaction out of it. Or it meets your specifications for being, for improvement. Or whatever. It's the same thing for anything else creative. None of that matters, though. It's about getting the ideas out there. And if you put them out there, people that need to hear them will find them. Even when they're not looking for them. You'll walk into them. I know, because I've experienced this. So I'd hate to miss out on something that someone has. Like it's just my friend he's got a lot of great things, and I got a lot of stuff from him. And I'm like, dude, just fucking do it. Who cares? It isn't like, I know the internet is forever and all that shit, but we don't have forever anymore. We do. We don't die. We're eternal. We've always existed. We always will exist. I know that's hard to wrap your head around, because you're thinking about it in terms of time, right? There's only time here, okay? So when you're not here, the concept of time, it doesn't mean anything. I understand it in my head, but I'm not skilled enough to articulate it well enough. Or maybe I am. I don't know. Let me give it another shot. maybe you understand it right away, and I like think I'm like way super smart or something. I'm not. I'm just, sometimes it's hard to get some of this across because it's so weird. There's no time anywhere else but here, from what I understand, from what I observed, and in my opinion. Okay? So the idea of forever, because that used to freak me out as a kid, too. Like, I'd think about, my parents like, oh, you go to heaven, forever. And I'm like, forever? And I'm like, I don't like the sound of that. Like, it just never ends. But if you don't have time, you don't feel that drag of time. You don't think about it like that because those feelings never come in because it doesn't exist there. It only exists here. You're not sitting around going, oh, it's been centuries. You're just in a different state. I don't know what the state is. I don't know what it's like. We can't comprehend it here, but I get the feeling that when we get there, we'll be like, oh yeah, this is it. Right. Oh shit, I forgot this is what it's like. It's very much like when you wake up from a dream and you're like, oh, okay, yeah, I was only dreaming. Oh, okay, that's good. Oh, this is it. You have this understanding of your situation. I think that's very much what is going on here. I think it was intended to be a test or some kind of test, and I'm just going to use words here, in like a soul training type of thing. Soul training. No, all this imagery just popped in my head. Or it's like a school for your soul, or some kind of thing like that. And you can't remember that because if you came here with any memories of what you really were and what was really happening, then it wouldn't really be much of a test. It wouldn't classify as a test. Now, I don't think it was meant to be this hard here. Like, I think, or maybe it was, but I have a feeling that the opposing force, okay, that was contracted to be in this test, in the simulation, whatever it is, are related to the people that run the whole thing. Now, in a Christian perspective, you would say it was God's place, Satan worked for him, and we're just going to go with that just as an example. Satan works for God. God is trying to raise one of his progeny, one of his children, and one of his children are in a school, and Satan is supposed to be the headmaster. And then Satan, he's kind of jealous because he's looking at what this kid's getting, and he's like, oh man, why is he's look at all the stuff he's getting. He's pretty powerful. He's going to be he's going to be the son or the daughter of the boss, or whatever. However, I'm just using, whatever it is, gender, whatever. So this is the kid of the boss, and a jealousy kind of starts to build, right? So he's like, I can't, I'm never going to have what he has, but maybe I can draw off some of his mojo to give myself a much sweeter time at this school. Like, the kid may be here to learn what it's like to interact in a 3D realm because it improves his character as who he really is, in as a god baby, So, Headmaster Satan's jealous. He just concocts a scheme with some of his allies who would, he can't get it, he can't get his hands dirty himself. He can have people that do it for him, okay, because he needs plausible deniability here. Although he won't have it. He can always think, well, I'm not directly doing it. I'm just offering them these things through these minions who then offer them these things, and they're choosing to take it. And God's like, dude, he's been in that school for a long time. What the fuck's going on? And Satan's like, well, we're just trying to make sure things are cool with him. Want to make sure he's as good of a godchild as he can be. And then it's discovered that, oh no, these guys are like, they're sucking off him. They're sucking his God power off him to enrich themselves, not in God's world, but here in this material world. Because if you enrich yourself here, you could have a pretty good time. So he's taken juice from this kid and using it to enrich him and his little group of friends, and then they just run it down like a pyramid. So God sends down our brother, okay, to basically come here and be like almost the equivalent of like the IRL IT guy. Like, look, man, this was a thing. This was a test. This was a system. It got fucked up. It's not supposed to be like this. This asshole over here decided he was going to concoct this scheme. You know what I mean? But if you listen, if you follow me, and I'm going to give you some hints on how to avoid those temptations, because if you keep taking those temptations, it's a contract situation. If you keep taking these temptations, you're never going to get out of the school, and we don't have the power to take you out of the school because it was set up by one of our own guys. People always say stuff like, well, why doesn't God just do this and that? Why doesn't God? Because his boys set this up, and then he fucked him over. So it's his own creative magic that created this place that he entrusted to one of his guys, who then screwed him over. He had no real need to like put a back door in here in case anyone. He just probably wasn't conceiving of that. As much as people say, well, God can do anything. Yeah, he can do anything, but can he change his own power? Can he change something made of his own divinity, which is what this place was made of, you know? So he can't just come in and scoop us out. But we can get out if we stop taking the things that are baited to us or we're tempted into taking by this asshole. Because at that point, we'll become free from whatever they're using to hold us in place, because they keep us in a low vibrational state. When we're in a low vibrational state, we're much easier to control, and they can feast off our energy a lot more well. It can feast off our energy much gooder. It's a more efficient way of farming our God juice, right? So we got to turn that tap off. But here's the thing, right? As that's been going on, whatever he was using, be it a physical thing mixed with a magical thing, a spell, whatever the fuck it is, has been running too long, and it's starting to fall apart, starting to break down. And that's a dying beast. So, like, that's kind of where we're at. Like, we're getting out of here. But the reason it's breaking down is because they've done it for too long. They reset, they redo for years and years. And, you know, the thing, this place is all God's magic, if you want to, just for purposes, his creative divinity, okay? Whatever they're using to suck this stuff from us, because it's being powered by us, of course, everything. But whatever mechanic they were using, okay, to siphon that power over to them to make their time here better, was a tool that wasn't made by God. It couldn't have been, because why would he have a fucking thing like that? No. This is a scheme that was concocted, and they created some kind of magical way, or magical mix with some kind of matter, whatever, you know, to do that. That's breaking. That's why I'm talking right now. If it wasn't breaking, I would be, you know, I'd be doing something really different, and probably not good, you know. So yeah, if you get, but all this stuff I put together, you know, I could be completely wrong. I don't know. I feel like it's not, though. You have this kind of the inner tuning fork that Matt called it. At some point, I have to stop referencing him and just use the term, because, you know, I gave him enough credit. But it passes some kind of spiritual shit test with you. It's not your brain. It's not the logic of your brain. It's not the instinct of your gut. It's somewhere in between there, in an untangible, nebulous fucking place. You just know. And that's where frequency comes in. Because everything is attuned to a certain frequency. A lie is a certain frequency. The truth is a certain frequency. And sometimes you might be like, oh, I don't know. I think that guy's just fucking saying bullshit. I don't believe him. You don't know how. You know, maybe it's your gut, but it's beyond that. You know, your gut instinct will tell you to jump out of the way from a bus or maybe to get out of a neighborhood at a certain time. But this is something more nuanced. You know, it could only be a part of our spiritual divine self that, you know, makes this happen for us, makes us understand these things. And that's frequency, you know. I'm going on way too long and in too many directions. So I'm going to tie it up. But the thing is, yeah, if you got something that you think could add or build or anything, just throw it out there, you know. And please, you know, tell me. I'll watch. You know, I'm always looking for this kind of stuff because it makes my understanding better. All right, I'm going to finish the house project I have here. I work very slow. I get distracted very easy. Don't blame the teacher, blame the school.